String manipulation is a way of scanning, updating, or converting strings in various ways. If you wish to validate an input, for example, to make sure it's using the correct email format, or maybe you want to make sure if a user inputs a username, they only input username lengths below 20 characters. Various string manipulation techniques allow us to do this. If I was to go through all techniques at once, it would be far too much to take in, so I have decided to split this topic into two separate videos, so we can focus on a few at a time. So let's get started. Let's start with how do we detect the length of a string. Here we have a string called hello world. We have created a second variable which we have called len of string, ready to store an integer. This third line contains the command.length, which, if you place after the identifier of a string, will turn that into an integer variable containing the length of the string. In this case, the length of hello world is 11. That is because the space is included as a character. As mentioned earlier, we can use this technique in various ways by combining it with a while loop, like so. We can create a validation algorithm that makes sure the length of the string we input is not too large. Now let's see how we can detect if a specific character exists in a string using the index of command. Here we are checking the position of the @ symbol in the email string and storing that position in the position variable. We do this by using the index of command after the string's identifier, then inside the brackets we place the character we wish to search for. In this case I have placed this character in a variable and used that as our character. When we output this, it will output the position of 4 and not 5, because just like an array, we start counting each character of a string at 0 and not 1. Let's look at another example. Here we are checking for the location of the character T in our email. The first instance of this letter T is at 0, so therefore our program outputs 0. Let's change this code slightly to see another example. This time we have placed a comma after our search character and placed a number. This number is used to tell us where in the string we would like to start the search. In this example, we would like to start the search at character 1, which is E. The next instance of the character T is at position 3, so therefore the program will output the position 3. We'll come back to this a little bit later in the video because I'm going to combine it with our next technique. The substring command, which we've placed at the identifier str, will return a section of the string from the original variable. In this example, the str variable contains the string "this is a substring test." Inside the brackets we have told the substring to start at position 10. In this example, that starts at the letter S. We have then told it to return the next 9 characters, and store that result in the second variable called retstring. When we output this result, we see that the word substring is printed to the console. That is because from position 10, counting 9 characters, is the word substring. Let's put all three techniques together now to create a program that can separate an email into its username and its domain name, and then store them as two separate variables. Starting with the three variables, email contains the entire email. Loc of @ contains the location of the @ symbol, and the email len variable contains the length of the email. Separating the username is as simple as using the substring command, starting at position 0 and ending at the location of the @ symbol, which, because we start counting at 0, will only return the letters before the @ symbol. To get the domain name, that is everything after and including the @ symbol, we can start at the location of the @ symbol. But how do we know where to end? We can't use the length of the email because that would go out of bounds. Instead, we can do a simple set of maths. We take the length of the email, then subtract the location of the @ symbol. In this example, that would be 14 minus 4, which would give us 10. Store this in another variable, which we have called domain len, and use this to count out the rest of the domain name. Because of the way I've coded this using variables, even if I change the email, the code is still able to separate the username from the domain. Now it is time to practice your new skills by completing some of these challenges. If you can do all three challenges without help, then let me know in the comments. If you would like to see step-by-step answers to these challenges, there will be a follow-on video which I will pin in the comments. If you learned something new from this video or enjoyed it otherwise, please give this video a like and tap that subscribe button for more coding videos.